Okay, so picture this. You're scrolling through your phone at like 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. You see an ad for those noise-canceling headphones you've been eyeing for weeks. They're 30% off, limited time only. And here's the thing. You've actually been wanting these for months, right? So you think, this is a sign. This is smart buying. I'm saving money. You click, you enter your card info, boom. $280 gone in 90 seconds. And look, I'm not judging you. We've all been there. But here's what's wild. According to a study from Slick Deals, the average American makes around 12 impulse purchases every single month. 12! And get this, each one averages about $314. Do the math with me real quick. That's $3,768 per month. Per month! Which means the average person is dropping nearly $45,000 a year on stuff they didn't plan to buy. Now, most people will hear that stat and think, well, that's not me. I'm not average. But here's the thing nobody talks about. You probably are closer to average than you think because impulse purchases don't feel like impulse purchases in the moment. They feel justified. They feel necessary. They feel like you're being smart because it's on sale. So here's what's actually happening in your brain when you see that Buy Now button. Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fires when you eat chocolate or get a text from your crush. And that dopamine isn't released when you get the thing, it's released in anticipation of getting the thing. That's why the moment between seeing the product and clicking purchase feels so good. Retailers know this. That's literally why they make checkout as frictionless as possible. One-click buy, Apple Pay, save your card info. They're removing every possible barrier between you and that dopamine hit. And here's the kicker. Studies show that about 54% of people regret their impulse purchases within 24 hours, more than half. But by then, it's too late. The money's gone. So let me introduce you to what I call the 72-hour money rule. And honestly, this one simple habit has probably saved me and my friends tens of thousands of dollars over the years. Here's how it works. Anytime you want to buy something that's not an absolute necessity and costs more than $50, you wait 72 hours before purchasing it. That's it. 3 full days. Now, you might be thinking, but what if the sale ends? What if it sells out? Look, here's the brutal truth. If it's actually a good deal, it'll come back. And if it sells out, there's gonna be another version, another sale, another opportunity. I promise you, Amazon didn't become a trillion-dollar company by only having one sale on headphones. But here's what happens during those 72 hours that changes everything. First, that dopamine rush, it wears off. Completely. What felt like a must-have on Tuesday night feels like maybe I don't really need that by Friday morning. Second, you give yourself time to do actual research. You check reviews, you compare prices, you realize that maybe the $280 headphones aren't actually that different from the $120 ones. Third, and this is the big one, you force yourself to confront the real cost. Let's say you're 30 years old and you invest that $280 instead of buying those headphones. At a 10% annual return, which is roughly what the S&P 500 has done historically, that $280 becomes $4,970 by the time you're 60. So you're not choosing between $280 and headphones. You're choosing between headphones now and $5,000 later. When you frame it that way, suddenly that purchase feels different, doesn't it? But here's where it gets even crazier. If you stop just 3 impulse purchases a month, just 3, at an average of $300 each, that's $900 a month you're not spending. Invest that $900 monthly for 30 years at 10% annual returns, and you're looking at $2.26 million. Let me say that again. The difference between retiring with over $2 million or retiring broke could literally come down to scrolling past a few Instagram ads every month. Most people think building wealth requires some massive salary or some genius investment strategy. Nah. For most people, it's just about not buying stuff they don't actually need. So here's what I want you to do right now. Think about the last thing you bought on impulse in the past week. Doesn't matter if it was $15 or $500. Just think about it. Now, ask yourself, if you had waited 72 hours, would you have still bought it? If the answer is no, or even if you're not sure, try this rule for the next 30 days. Just 30 days. Put a reminder in your phone, Screenshot items you want and revisit them in 3 days. I'm telling you, this one simple shift will change your entire relationship with money. You'll watch your savings account actually grow, you'll feel more in control, and weirdly, you'll start wanting less stuff because you'll realize most of it was just dopamine chasing anyway. Drop a comment and let me know what's the most ridiculous impulse purchase you've ever made. If this was helpful, hit subscribe.